Hey guys, and welcome to lesson number 29 of Learn Free Music Theory. Today we're going to be doing the terms list for basically level 2. What I actually did is I put a lot more info in level 1 and less info in level 2. Mainly because I don't know, I didn't want to break up topics that they were breaking up in because in Canada we have a syllabus that we go by and we have a certain amount, and so basically I've modified it to how I want to do it, and I've put less in level 2, more in level 1. So some stuff that was covered in level 1 was actually from level 2. So I've kind of changed it around for my own benefit or own ways. So what it ends up being is level 1 is pretty hard, level 2 is pretty easy. There's not that much. We're pretty much done level 2. The next lesson is going to actually be the exam video, and then the third level is going to be maybe about as much content or maybe a little bit less than level 1. So out of all of them, level 1 is going to be the most content and the highest learning curve. Anyway, so I kind of wanted to do it that way so that as you go forward, then you've got all these concepts in the back of your mind and they were all built together instead of kind of like one abstract idea here and then bring that in the next level and pull it together. Because I don't know, I didn't really find when I was learning that I liked that style. I found it was kind of confusing to learn a little bit of something and then learn more of it the next year and then a little bit more the next year, and it just kind of confused me, so that's why I changed it. Anyway, so I was hoping to make it easier for you guys, and hopefully that is what happened. I just wanted to explain that so when you see my next video and it's like, oh, this is the end of level 2, you're like, what? Why is it so small? Okay, anyway, enough talking. I'm really kind of rambling on. So we're basically just going to go over all the terms for level 2, and then the next video is going to be the exam video. Okay, so let's get started. Alright, so guys, here's our first set. Now, I've kind of broken this up. I'm doing it alphabetically, and I'm going to break it up. And what I want you guys to do is learn each group of these in 1 week's time period, maybe 2 weeks. Try to tackle one group at a time. What I would suggest for memorizing these is first pick maybe one term to start off with, and look at that one term and go, say accelerando. And then you'd say means, or it pretty much means gradually getting faster. So accelerando means gradually getting faster. And just say that like 10 times, 20 times, however many times you need to until it just feels like it's sinking in. And then the next thing you're going to do is then you reverse it and go gradually getting faster means accelerando. Accelerando means gradually getting faster. Gradually getting faster means accelerando. And you just keep saying that over and over again. I need to catch my breath. Okay. Man, I've been talking so fast today and I was moving around trying to write this out really fast. So yeah. Okay, so next thing is try to close your eyes and imagine what the word looks like and maybe spell the word in your mind. And once you can spell the word in your mind, then you pretty much got it in there. And then try to link it to what the description is. So accelerando, think of it, and then gradually getting faster. And then also try to attach kind of like some kind of picture or image or video, kind of streaming video from YouTube into your brain. What I like to think of with accelerando myself is a train accelerating. It's like it's starting to get faster. It's like woo woo. Yeah, no, kind of silly, but it seems to work for me because it's a train gradually getting faster. Because you never see a train go, right? It's never just like shooting off, and even bullet trains always accelerate at a gradual speed. Like they have to work up to their max speed, right? So I don't know. I find train is a good one. So yeah, that's basically the process. Like things, as I come to a thing that I think might help you remember something, I'll let you know. And if not, I'm just going to keep going. And also please bear in mind that some of these pronunciations could be wrong because I was taught by my teacher how to pronounce them, and my teacher was probably taught by their teacher, and their teacher was taught by their teacher, and it just keeps going back. So I could be saying some of these wrong, but that's just how I was taught, and you could be saying it differently in whatever country you're from or with whatever accent that you have. So don't think that my pronunciations are like the end all and be all of what they're supposed to be. Just listen to them, and if you think it should be pronounced another way, then go for it. Anyway, but these spellings should be correct. Okay, so let's get started. Sorry about the long intros for both those things. Okay, now we can just rip through all this stuff. Okay, so accelerando, that's spelled A-C-C-E-L-E-R-A-N-D-O. Okay, accelerando. And it means gradually getting faster, which we kind of just covered. Okay, so moving right along, we have the next one. It's a tempo. And you'll see this one a lot. It's all over the place in all music scores. Whenever you have a tempo change, so say you're playing a piece and it's slowing down and there's a retardando and it stops, and then you go back to the main theme, or you go on to something else, you'll usually see a tempo, because it wants you to go back to the original speed that you were at. Okay, so it's sort of like this kind of feeling, like da 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 dun da dun da da, and then you're like bum ba da da dum bum ba dum da. So see how you're going back to the original speed? So you slow down for a bit and then go back. That's what it means. So return to the original speed. You could probably also say tempo there too, but then you're kind of using an Italian term to describe the Italian term. So return to original speed kind of works. Okay, next one. Alla, ali, al, with an apostrophe. In the style of. Okay, that's pretty much it. I actually, to be honest, I have never really, well, I've seen it a few times, but it's not something like it's a really, really common term. So you usually see it at the start of a piece to describe how the style is going to be. I've seen it in a few other places, but it's not really a term that I see all the time. Maybe I just overlook it or something, but anyway. Yeah, I don't see it all the time, but that's basically that one. Now, this one's really just, it pretty much tells you what it means right off the bat if you know English. Animato means animated, okay? So when you see this, you usually want to play very like dramatic. You want to add a lot of basically drama and flair or sadness or pain to it, depending on what type of kind of piece you're playing. If you're playing a really sad piece and it gets to this really intense part and it shows animato, then you should be very, like, put that extra bit of energy into it. The composer's trying to tell you, okay, play this part like with a lot of feeling and energy and put yourself into this, make it very animated. Okay? That's basically what animato means. Okay, assai, very. It's spelled A-S-S-A-I. Okay, I'll just laugh and I'm not going to explain why. Okay, next one, ben. I have it with a capital or a lowercase because ben with an uppercase sort of looks like someone's name. And ben means well. And if you speak Italian, man, you're lucky. You probably don't even have to know any of these. You already know what it means. Anyway, okay, so next one is brilliant. And this one is super easy because it means brilliant. I guess you could probably pronounce this brillianti if you want to get all Italian on it, although I'm not really sure if that's how you pronunciate it. But yeah. Okay, next one is, this one has a whole bunch of different ways you can see it, but it means the exact same thing. So, col, cola, con, col, coal, whatever. I'm not sure how you pronounce those two actually, because my teacher didn't show me, because it was just like, yeah, col, con, cola, whatever. It all just means with, okay? So whenever you see those with the C-O-L-L or the C-O-L or the C-O-N, it's going to mean the same thing, okay? Now, when you see col 8-VA, what that means is with, for the col, 8-VA, an added octave. Now 8-VA normally means playing octave higher than written, right? Or an octave. So when you combine the two, this is sort of what's implied as with added octave. Whoa. I actually didn't write added, I wrote with add octave. Okay, so just excuse that little typo there, or sharpo. Yeah, anyway. Actually, this isn't a Sharpie because if it was permanent, then it would never erase. Okay, anyway. So, yeah, with an added octave, not add octave. Okay, so I want you to write these down, pause, whatever you have to do, write them down, and make this your week 1 or week 1 and 2 if you don't have enough time to do it in 1 week. Memorize all these. So which go with which? Like you have to know each side. So if someone says, okay, well, what does well mean? You have to go like, it's Ben. Okay? It's also kind of fun to make up sentences with these things. It's hilarious. But yeah, anyway. Okay, so that's that for this one. And I'll go erase this and write out the next one. Hey guys, alright, and welcome back. And here's the next one. So we've got more cons. You're just gonna get all conned out on this video. Okay, so we've got con brio, con espresso. Oh, well, I should probably just do this regularly. So con brio. Con obviously means with, and brio, vigor, or vigor, okay? So it's kind of self-explanatory. You want to play it with vigor. So just put more into it. It depends on the circumstance that you're playing. If you want to know more about vigor, look up a definition like in a dictionary of what does vigor mean, and then that will help you gain insight into some of these terms. There's also musical dictionaries, and actually on my website, any terms that you ever find in music and you don't have a clue what they mean, I've got a musical terms list on my website. I think it's under the music theory category or something like that, but it says terms list. And it has pretty much almost any term you could think of. There's a few that are missing, but it's pretty darn thorough. So you just go Control F, and then it brings up a find box, and then you can type in whatever thing you're looking for, and it'll search through the page, and if you come with a match, then boom, you have a definition. Okay, anyway. So con expresión is with expression. Okay? So putting more expression into it. Again, dictionary would be great. I like to think of someone who's like at a park and there's flowers blooming and they're just so overcome with, like either joy at the beauty or sadness at maybe being alone at the park per se, or there's so many different ways you could imagine expression, but you can put more into the music basically. These are just, I guess, different ways. Now the next one, oh by the way, just in case you can't read this, it's spelled Espressione. Okay? Sorry, a little itchy there. It's summer right now and I got a bug bite right here, so it's been bugging me. Anyway, okay, so next one is con moto. So moto for motion. Moto. So I always think of that commercial Hello Moto, with the Motorola. They're like, hello Moto, but it's kind of old. I don't think they're playing it anymore. But yeah, that's what it always reminds me of. And then some guy with a cell phone, he's like, yeah, I'm on my Motorola and I'm moving in motion. Yeah, it's cool. Okay, but yeah. Okay, so that's con moto. Okay, next one. Yes, that's just an E. I know. It's pretty strange. So it's a capital E. Or you have another way that they can do it is just ED. So it can just be an E or an E and a D. And it could be upper, that E doesn't actually even have to be uppercase. It could just be a lowercase e, and it could just be like, hey, I'm chilling out here. Okay? So when you see that, it just means and. Okay? Now, you wouldn't usually just see the E sitting there because it's part of a sentence usually. So it wouldn't make any sense if you're playing along in your music and then there's an E there. It's like, and. Okay? So usually there is logical sense applied to where they put these things, so don't worry. So E is and, or ed is and. Okay, next one. This one sort of comes from this one. It's espressivo. And it's sometimes you might see it abbreviated in your music score as ESPRESS with a dot. Okay, espress. Okay, just because it's shorter and I guess saves room. Doesn't really save the trees though because it doesn't save any extra paper. It just makes the paper look less cluttered. Okay, so it means, it's pretty obvious what it means. It means expressively. Yay. Okay, now the next one, forte piano. Interesting. Yeah, that's actually the original name of the forte piano, or what we call today as the piano. That was the original name. It was called a forte piano because I heard at least that because it could play loud and soft, so they called it a forte piano. And then, as you can tell, it's not a very catchy name, so over time, I guess they just shortened it down to piano. Imagine if they called it, if it went the other way and they shortened it to forte. It's like, man, I'm so pro at playing the forte. Anyway, okay. So forte piano, usually, actually I should have put this on. It looks a lot, usually you'll see it like this, with the FP like that in your music score. And what it does is it means loud, then suddenly soft, okay? So it could be building up to a part like da 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 da, and then it's like dun, 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 right after. So it's like a big, could be a really big climaxing part, and then boom, suddenly soft, okay? Or you could have a whole bunch of loud parts like dun 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 da 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 da. I'm out of my random melody music, and then it's just like big, and then soft suddenly. So that's when you could use it too, okay? All right, now, next one. Oh, and forte piano, it's just like one word combined, just to let you know. And grave is the next one. And I like to think of like when you're at a funeral, you're not really in a happy mood, you're just like really, you see people and they're just like moving slowly. They're not making really quick movements, they're very slow and broad, okay? So grave, extremely slow and broad. So usually you want to play it in a very kind of like funeral style, or extremely energy, like almost no energy, very gloomy, okay? Whenever you see grave, it's usually like a sad, gloomy piece, but it doesn't always happen that way, okay? So that's grave, extremely slow and broad. Next one, leggero, it means lightly, okay? I like to think of legs, and you're like, ha 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 ha, and it's some guy, and he's like sprinting, he's like, yeah. Okay, so leggero, it's lightly. All right, pretty simple. Loco, I think it means something different in other languages, but in this music Italian terms language, it means in the original place. Okay, it's pretty simple. Loco, in the original place. Okay. All right, so that pretty much covers up this whole board, so I'm going to write out the next one. All right, guys, so the next one here is, okay, so our first one is ma, which kind of sounds like ma, I need some, ma, can you make me a sandwich? I've definitely asked that a couple times. My mom makes really good sandwiches, by the way. Okay, so ma, but in Italian, equals but, okay? So it's kind of like, I was going down the block, but then I got a cell phone call and then I had to go back, something like that, okay? So but. So usually this word would be used in a sentence describing something, okay? Now, next one, meno, is less, okay? So meno, less, M-E-N-O, less. Now, obviously meno is the same, so less again, but with mosso, less quickly. So meno mosso, quickly, is mosso. So mosso is quickly, and meno is less, okay? So again, you'd see this in a sentence. So you could see you're playing along, and then it could say meno mosso, so they want you to play maybe the second time less quickly, okay? All right, now next, MM. This is, there's two explanations, but I didn't really have room to write both of them, so I just wrote this one. Mazel's metronome, or sometimes it says metronome markings, okay? What this actually means, Mazel was actually the guy who supposedly invented the metronome, but I have heard stories, my teacher told me, he's like, yeah, well, Mazel was credited with the metronome, but apparently it was stolen by some other guy. Mazel stole the idea or invention from someone else who invented it, and then passed it off as his own invention. Although I'm not 100% sure, I haven't really gone and done any research on it, but that's sort of what I was told by my teacher when when he taught me. So anyway, yeah. So that's Mazel's metronome right there. Yeah. So that pretty much sums it up. Usually you'll see MM and then maybe like equals, or you'll see a number or whatever, and they'll give you a marking of how fast or how slow they want you to play the tempo of the piece. Okay? That's usually where you're going to see it. Okay? And if you were a student of mine, you'd see it in your book, and I would say, hey, MM, practice your piece at this metronome speed. And not all of them do it. You know who I'm talking about. Well, if you're not one of my students, you would know. But if you're one of them and you're watching, and you aren't practicing with your metronome, you know. Anyway, alright, so next one, molto, much or very. So molto means much or very. Again, you're going to see it in a sentence usually. It just wouldn't make any sense to be just randomly sitting there. Now, non, so N-O-N means without or not. Again, sentence word. So non troppo, not too much. Okay? That could go with something else or be itself, I don't know. Depends on the context, right? So those are kind of hard to explain because they're just like sentence words. So they pretty much mean what they mean. That's it. Non-troppo. So troppo spelled T-R-O-P-P-O. Now we've got ottava. Ottava. I always want to say Ottawa because that's the capital of Canada. All you have to do is change the V to a W and you have Ottawa. And that's the city I was born in. Yay! Okay. Also, an alternative is 8 with a VA, and I actually think this one's way more common. I have seen Ottawa, but usually I see the 8 VA. Alright? Now, 8 VA, it means play 1 octave higher or lower. Now, how you can tell if it's higher or lower is by where it is. Now, if you're going to be using it higher in the treble clef and lower in the bass clef. If you have some notes like here or whatever, okay, some random notes, and you have this 8 VA sign and then you have this like dash stuff and then it goes down like that, it means from the 8 VA sign until the end of the dash, all that is going to be played 1 octave higher than it's written. Okay? Now, on the flip side, say this 8 VA is actually lower, and say you have notes up here. Okay? I know they're really ugly, but just bear with me. So say your bass clef is here and this 8 VA is lower. That means from the 8 VA sign over until the end of the bracket, everything's played 1 octave lower than written. Okay? So that's what 8 VA is. You can also have a sign for 2 octaves, and that's 15 MA. Okay? Alright, so play 1 octave higher lower. That's 8 VA. Now next one, Pio, which I don't think I'm pronouncing properly. I have no idea how to say it. It's P-I-U. And sometimes there's like a pronunciation dash, but I don't really know what that means. Yeah. Hey, at least I admit it. Okay, so that supposedly means more. Alright, so Piu or Pio or whatever you want to say. More. Whenever I see this though, I always think of like you're eating food and it's like Pia! And then it doesn't make any sense. It's like, more please, more. Give me more of that gross stuff. Anyway. Okay, Pio moso, more quickly. There you go. Moso, as we learned from above, means quickly. So, there you go. I didn't really think it needed to be of its own word there. Okay, so, anyway, that's that one. Let's move along. So before I move along though, remember, copy this out, write this out, memorize these terms on a weekly thing. I forgot to say that in the last clip, so just keep remembering that. Okay guys, so next one. Alright, so our first term is one of my favorites. I would never forget this term because I love it so much. Okay, so poco. Okay, and it means little. Why is it my favorite term? It kind of, most people probably wouldn't know this unless they play many video games, when I was younger and as a teenager, I played a lot of video games, and still I'll play the odd video game here and there. Like I played Modern Warfare 2 and stuff like that, but on PC, not like Xbox or PS3, mainly because I don't really like the controller layout. I like the keyboard and mouse layout. But anyway, Poco reminds me of Chocobos from Final Fantasy. And like a little tiny baby chocobo because it means little. So yeah, anyway, that's how I remember Poco. It's just like a little tiny chocobo, which a chocobo looks like a bird, sort of like an ostrich with feathers more, but it's yellow. It's like, well, they're different colors, but they're like bright and they make like a cute little wark sound. It's cute. But anyway, so that's why I remember Poco. So I just think of like a little tiny baby bird. So you could think of like a little, one of those little chickens, like a baby chicken. What do they call them anyway? Chicks? Yeah, a little chick. But yeah. Okay, so Poco, little. Now Poco means little by little. So Poco. You actually see that very often in music. At least I've come across it many times. And what they mean is kind of like, as you're going through the phrase, little by little do something, either accelerando, so poco accelerando, or poco crescendo, or poco retardando. So they do it. Also, I see poco rit. Whenever you see poco something, it means it's a smaller version of it. So like a poco accelerando would be a smaller accelerando. You're not going to accelerate as quickly or faster. It's like a subdued minor version. Okay. Yeah, that pretty much sums those two up. Quasi, I'm not 100% sure I'm pronouncing that right, but I'm, whatever. Okay, it means in the manner of, and that's sort of a sentence word. You're gonna use it with something else. Rubato, now this is a really hard term to define, okay? Super hard, because it's kind of an art form in and of itself. Now, it's sort of, you can describe it as flexible, okay, or giving and taking, and it's a time term, so it has to do with rhythm. If you're playing rubato, you're gonna play rubato mostly when you're playing. If you're playing piano, it's gonna be like Chopin and Debussy and stuff like that. Chopin definitely, rubato. Rubato is sort of like, it's like you have a time. It's like you're playing steady, but you're giving and you're taking in certain areas. You're flexible to speed up or slow down as you wish, sort of. It's sort of like you tastefully speed up at the exciting part, and maybe at a really enjoyable part, you slow down and relax it. So you can really speed up and slow down, and it's that feeling of it, you're not really set to a dun, 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 right? It could be like dun 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 dun. So that's not really a great example, but listen to Chopin recordings and you'll start to hear examples of rubato. Okay? I'm not really sure with other instruments so much, but like I know what the general concept is. It's sort of like you have to play around with rubato quite a bit to get the feeling of it. And unless I'm teaching that in a one-to-one kind of lesson, it's sort of hard to interact with someone because it's a pretty hard concept to teach. It's like very artistic. So yeah, try that out. That's rubato. That's spelled R-U-B-A-T-O. Rubato, which kind of sounds like Damara Igato Mr. Rubato. Kind of sounds like rubato, like that, right? Anyway, okay. So next one, sempre is always. That's spelled S-E-M-P-R-E. Always. Okay, next, senza, without. Okay, those are both sentence words. When I say sentence word, I mean you're going to use it in combination with other words generally. You're not just going to see them just sitting there for some reason because they don't make any sense by themselves. Okay, next, tempo. Most of you guys probably know this. It's the time or the speed of the music, or sometimes like the speed at which the music is performed at. But that was longer, and I was like, no. So yeah, tempo, time, speed of the music, whatever. Okay, now tempo, so that's we're dealing in speed of the music, and then primo. So whenever you see primo, it's gonna always mean like first or original or kind of like the head. Okay? So primo means, it could mean original tempo or first tempo. Okay? And generally you're gonna see this, it's sort of like that a tempo thing where it says return to the original tempo. It's sort of the same thing, but it pretty much is the same thing. It's just a different way of saying it. Okay? So tempo primo and a tempo mean pretty much the same thing. Go back to the original tempo. Okay? And then tempo rubato. I've got quotations, robbed time, because some people say rubato, you're robbing the time from the music because you're taking, like, you can take time and speed it up, or you can slow it down, and you don't actually have to equal it out in the end, really. It's sort of, you can play around with it a lot, so yeah. Anyway, so that's tempo rubato, so T-E-M-P-O R-U-B-A-T-O. Alright, so that is that. Now we only have one little tiny one left, and then we're done. So, write this out, memorize, and such. Alright guys, so we're on the last one now. Okay, so we've got tenuto, and that means hold the note. Now, usually when they, you're going to be holding your notes for full value anyway, normally. But when you see tenuto, it's sort of like you're holding on to the note in the sense like you don't want to let go of that note. So as the audience hears, it sounds like you're kind of pulling onto those notes and you're trying to hold on to them longer. So it has sort of a slowing down or a I don't want to move anywhere kind of feeling. That's sort of what you'd be usually using it. Although it kind of depends on the situation. But yeah. Okay, so that's tenuto. That's spelled T-E-N-U-T-O. Okay, that's hold the note. Sometimes you'd add for for full value, and in music, yeah. I don't know what I was gonna say. I forgot. Anyway, okay, next one. Tranquillo means quietly. Okay, that's pretty obvious. Tranquil, quiet. So tranquillo is quietly. Okay, that's T-R-A-N-Q-U-I-L-L-O. I used to have all these things spelled, like I used to remember how to spell all of them, but the event where I actually have to spell these things out is so rare that I've forgotten how to spell them. So anyway, okay, troppo, too much. Okay, and that's pretty obvious. That's going to be a sentence word. You'll see it with other words grouped together. Una corda means one string, and this one can be a little bit tricky, this term, but generally, I mean, it's generally a piano term, but you can use it in other stringed, I think you can use it in other stringed instruments, but don't quote me on that for sure, because I'm not 100% sure on that one. But una corda for piano, if you see una corda, it means you're going to use the soft pedal, okay? So that's basically what una corda means. It's U-N-A space C-O-R-D-A, una corda. Okay, and the last one, vivace, is, and I think I'm pronouncing that one wrong, okay? So I can't remember how to pronounce this. That's just how I learned how to pronounce it. So, lively, quick. Lively or quick. Generally, this is a tempo term. You see it at the beginning of a piece, just like allegro. It's like tells you to play quick and lively. So it's a fast tempo. So if you see vivace, you're going to be playing pretty quick. All right. So yeah, that pretty much wraps it up. So I hope you guys had fun with that, and you're going to be pretty busy with a lot of terms for a little while. I know I was when I was first learning these. Yeah, if you have any questions of how to pronounce these things, I'm not really sure where you're going to look, but you could always look, maybe like try typing the word into like a YouTube search or something like that, and maybe hopefully someone's saying the word in a video, but I have really no idea. The pronunciations, I think they vary from person to person, so yeah. What I'd really try to focus on is the spellings and also matching the two and kind of getting an understanding of what is actually going on when you know this term, okay? So yeah, I hope you guys found that useful, helpful, and I hope you guys are doing really well. And yeah, the next one is going to be the exam, and there's only a few videos, so it's not like it's going to cover a whole whack of stuff, but still prepare for it. And there's going to be the term questions, and I might throw a few more terms since I don't have as much stuff to go. Well, I don't know, we'll see. But anyway, yeah, so have fun, and I hope you guys are doing awesome. So take care, guys. Later. Bye.